Hey guys, it's the Celtic Rain Radio Show. I'm just saying, right? So, we're going to have a great time tonight. Another one of my guests I had to pre record because he is in Wales. I know, crazy, right? So, needless to say, we're going to have a great time. The group's called SYD.31. SYD.31, and it's just Jason's just an amazing person, so I'm really excited for you guys to get to know SYD.31. Anyways, so this is the Celtic Rain Radio Show. We play small label and independent artists music, and it has to be family friendly. So if you want to send me music, you can send it to celticrain777 at gmail.com, and just send me your MP3s. And if it's small label or independent artist, if you're a small label or independent artist and it's family friendly, you will get played. I play all genres of music, which is amazing. If you're watching from somewhere else, you can come and be a part of the show by going to youtube.com/C for channel /Celtic Rain, like rain out of the sky. And I cannot wait for you to go and just subscribe. That way you know exactly when we're going to be here and you can be part of this wonderful show. We thank you so much for that. Now, I'm just letting you know, we're going to have some amazing music. So first, we're going to have Beltane Fire by Green Man and the Muse. By the way, happy solstice, just saying, yes. And then we're going to have Monkey in the Garden, number 3, by Philadelphia Phil. Love Philadelphia Phil. Then we're going to have Copperhead Row by The Lonesome Troubadour. I cannot wait for you to hear this amazing music and then get to know our wonderful artists tonight. So you guys, it's time. We're gonna just do this wonderful thing, and then you're gonna hear some amazing music. I know, right? Sometimes I'm blown away by the music that is sent to me. It's just this is probably one of the best experiences is doing this show. So I wanted to do this. I also wanted to say almost happy Christmas. Happy Christmas from all of us here at the Celtic Rain Radio. So you ready? Here we go.
How can I tell you, since I just met you, all of the feelings I have deep inside? How can I share them if I don't know you well enough to start to confide? But I just lose control down deep within my soul. Beltane fire begins to rise, and I watch it flicker in your eyes. I'm warmly drawn to you. Flashlights around me, stars far above me, and you walking near me, I reach for your hand. And if your heart knew how much I want to reach out and touch you, would you understand? But I just lose control down deep within my soul. Beltane fire begins to rise, and I watch it flicker in your eyes. I'm warmly drawn to you. Beltane fire, Beltane fire. It's almost the full moon, and I know too soon that I will not see you. Then what will I do? So now I am singing and you are hearing, and I hope you are knowing this song is for you. But I just lose control down deep within my soul. Beltane fire begins to rise, and I watch it flicker in your eyes. I'm warmly drawn to you. But I just lose control down deep within my soul. Beltane fire begins to rise, and I watch it flicker in your eyes. I'm warmly drawn to you, to you. Mm-hmm.
Bought big crows in the people's garden, eating all the fruit that we worked so hard on, and licking the scratch, marching up the garden. Bought big crows in the people's garden. One little monkey in a mango tree says, "Hey, everybody come look at me. I'm the king of the garden, I'm boss of this tree. All my friends eat mango for free. Ain't it the way? Ain't it always the way? Nothing to do, nothing to say. Ain't it the way? Ain't it always the way? No matter what you do, no matter what you say. Now the fruit is gone, the tree is bare. That little monkey's running everywhere. Grows over here, grows over there. Not a nibble left anywhere. Ain't it the way? Ain't it the way? Ain't it always the way? Ain't it always the way? Nothing to do, nothing to say. Ain't it the way? Ain't it the way? Ain't it always the way? Ain't it always the way? No matter what you do, no matter what you say. Trees full of crows, monkeys in the garden, eat all the fruit we worked so hard on, and they're neck and the scratch, mash up the garden, all them crows in the people's garden. That little monkey in a mango tree, crying, "Hey everybody, look at me. I'm the king of the garden, I'm boss of this tree. All my friends eat mango for free. Ain't it the way? Ain't it the way? Ain't it always the way? Ain't it always the way? Nothing to do,
little more. Same as my daddy and his daddy before. You hardly ever saw Granddaddy down here. He only come to town about twice a year. He buy 100 pounds of yeast and some copper line. Everybody knew that he made moonshine. And the revenue man wanted Granddaddy bad. Headed up a holler with everything he had. Before my time that I've been told, he never come back from Copperhead Road. Now Daddy ran the whiskey in a big block Dodge. Bought it at an auction at the Mason's Lodge. Johnson County Sheriff painted onto the side. The shot coat of powder and he looked inside. Well, him and my uncle tore that engine down. I still remember that rumbling sound. And the sheriff came around in the middle of the night. Heard Mama crying, knew something wasn't right. He's headed down to Knoxville with a weekly load. You can smell the whiskey burning down Copperhead Road. I volunteered for the Army on my birthday. They draft the white trash first round here anyway. I've done 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan. And I came home with a brand new plan. I take the seed from Colombia, Mexico. I just planted up a holler down Copperhead Road. Now the DEA's got a chopper in the air. Wake up screaming like I'm back over there. I learned a thing or two from Charlie, don't you know? You better stay away from Copperhead Road. Copperhead Road. Copperhead Road. Copperhead Road.
So yeah, crazy awesome, right? I know. Best music ever is on the Celtic Rain radio show. I'm just saying. Now we are, the interview we're going to be having next is with SYD.31, and they're out of Great Britain. So I pre-recorded this so that they could have a decent hour to actually, come and talk to us. So just saying, if you want to send your music, as I said before, if you're a small label or independent artist or band, and it's family friendly, dude, send it to CelticRain777@gmail.com and send your MP3s. I also wanted to say this is kind of cool. So one of the artists that I play, his name is Buck Rogers Jr., and he sent me a t-shirt. Isn't it so cute? I mean, it's just adorable. And it's got like all that right there. It's so sweet. Thank you, Mr. Buck Rogers Jr., for the t-shirt. Also, I wanted to say happy birthday to a few people. My daddy's birthday is today. So happy birthday, Daddy. I love you. And some of our artists' birthdays are today too. So for all of the artists out there that are part of the show, that your birthday's today, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. I know. I know. We had so many people that had birthdays. Several people that watch just this past week, their birthdays were this week as well. So this is like the week of birthdays. I know, it's kind of crazy. So there you are. But, now we get to know SYD.31. So, are you guys ready? Here we go. Hi, everybody. I am so excited. We have SYD, that's SYD.31 with us today. And from that group, we have Match. But that's an interesting story. So tell me about your name. That's interesting.
Well, Madge is a nickname of a nickname. I'm called Magic to all my friends and peers. My real name is Jason. But I got the nickname Magic years ago because if there's any work to be done, I would disappear as if by magic, and it sort of stuck. So I've been called Magic or Madge since I've been about 17 or 18.
Oh, that's funny. That is hilarious, by the way. But who wouldn't want to be like, yes, I am Magic. Thank you.
It's the
I'm the
greatest
best
nickname
ever.
anyone could have had. I hated it
Ever.
at first, but hey, it's good.
That's so funny. So how did SYD.31 get its name?
I've got a tattoo that says SYD.31, and I think I'm the only person in the world that has a band named after a tattoo rather than a tattoo named after a band. But I got that because I've got a tattoo here saying Angel.41, and that's for my mum. My parents had me quite late in life. So Angel.41, my mum was born in 1941. My dad was called Sydney. So it's Sid with a Y. Deliberately spelt wrong because I was confused as a child, like Sid and Sydney with a Y, where does the Y go? But anyway, so I called him SYD.31 because he was born in 1931. Had me quite late in life. He was a professional singer. And he did a lot of music, and when he passed away, I named this project SYD.31 after him. Well, after the tattoo named after him as a sort of tribute to him.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. So so you come from a musical family. That's amazing. That's wonderful.
It's got its blessings. My grandmother was a music hall singer. So in the days before PAs and microphones, she was a proper belter, really good lung capacity. And
Nice.
my dad was a great singer as well, but he never took it too far, I think, because his first wife wanted to settle down. In those days, it was just like, well, that's what kids do, go and be singers, we need to settle down. So he didn't take it as far as he could have done. So great singers, and then there's me. I'm no crooner. I've inherited my mum's voice, which is a pity. So I've got my grandmother's lung capacity. I can like proper bellow. But to have the sweet notes, it fails me. But I found my own niche. Punk, metal, it works.
It works. Yeah, it works. I like that your music has a lyricalness to it, though. So, and it's not just all, there's some that do that. But then there's others that we're going to listen to today, actually, that are just... They have this they still have a lyricalness to it, which is really, really cool. So I thought that was really interesting.
For me, the songwriting storytelling is really important. We get a lot of bands, and the more aggressive the vocals are, the more rubbish the lyrics are expected to be, or more dramatic. Classic example, although I love Cradle of Filth, everyone expects them to go, oh, murder, do this and that, but I want to do something wholesome. You can expel a lot of the air and energy. You can cry out in pain about the things that you've seen and experienced, like breakdown in relationships. Why not shed tears in a great outpouring? Talk about things you've gone through. Expel all that grieving process. So you can tell a story, and you can make it wholesome, and you can still make it incredibly shouty too.
Absolutely. So where in the world are you from? Where are you?
It gets kind of interesting. I was born in a place called Kilnhurst. It's a small village in South Yorkshire. People might know Yorkshire from Viking maps and stuff like that of England. It's a small village. And then when I was 7, I moved to Zimbabwe in southern Africa, an absolutely
Wow.
impoverished, failing nation.
Yeah.
Dad went over there as an engineer because they need a skilled engineer. So I grew up in Zimbabwe, and then I moved back at the age of 17 to the UK and lived in a place called Hull, which is my dad's hometown. And it's another failing city. It's a post-industrial place, I suppose. It's like the equivalent of Detroit in the States or something. And then a few years ago, I moved to my favorite city in the world, Manchester, because I love the history of the city. I love the music from here. It's a perfect party city. It's got a different attitude to anywhere else I've lived. I love it here. So I'm from all over, really.
Nice, nice. Yeah, my husband loves Manchester
Mm.
because of well, we call it soccer. He says football. And I'm
Football is the
like, got it.
correct term.
Exactly. He's like, that's not right. It's football. And I'm like, okay, I know. I'm so sorry. But over here in the States, it's like, okay, you have to like distinguish
Mm.
because people don't understand. They don't understand at all. It's hilarious to me. So, how many people are in your band?
Another interesting question. Live, there's 3 of us. In the studio recording, it's me. I see myself as a solo artist. I play all the guitar, do all the bass, I program and arrange all the drums. I do everything myself, even my own backing vocals. And there's only so much you can do. No one wants to see a bloke on stage by themselves. It doesn't fill up a stage. It's not as exciting enough. So I rely on 2 people who've got a phenomenal stage personality. You cannot take the eyes off them. And
That's
they
awesome.
do the music. So we've got Cara Wolf, and she does live percussion, and she's an absolute monster on drums. Uh, you can't take your eyes off her. And then on
That's
guitar, we've
awesome.
got Shavo, and they are an incredible performer. And when it comes to live stuff, I'll show Shav my song and the guitar parts I've written. I'll say, okay, that's what I've done. Now make it into your baby. So they reinterpret it live and they make it their own. And I'm so pleased because seeing these 2, it's a band I'd want to go see. I'd be so happy
Nice.
just to sit in the crowd and watch these 2 just perform. And the chemistry between the 3 of us is fantastic. So I'm very gifted. So there's 3
Nice.
of us live. In the studio, it's just me.
So it's really nice though, because that seems like it would be an interesting thing. It's like, okay, yes, I listen to your music, you've recorded, and it's okay. Yeah, I really, really like this. But then when you go see it live, it's got a different twist to it because the instrumentalists are gonna if they're putting their own flavor in there, then it's yours, but now it's twisted.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
I feel
awesome.
like I'm their vocalist rather than my backing band.
Right, exactly. That's pretty awesome. That's really cool. Well, we are going to actually listen to a song next. It's called As They Let You Down. Tell me about this song.
My songs that I do recently are all biographical, and as I get older, I think it's really important, especially for older men, to talk about the feelings more. Not in a sort of woe is me, but look at the challenges that people face. When I was a young man, being able to open your heart up to mates was like, oh, what do you want to do that? You've got to have this macho exterior. So as I'm getting older, I want to reflect on challenges that I've seen and experiences I've gone through. And As They Let You Down was about a really, really challenging time for myself and my partner. Um, she was being bullied by a lot of people that were friends of hers, and it's really unfair. And it's not how do you cope with that? And it's all about the expectations you're supposed to have from friends and peer pressures. And
Right.
you don't have to live up to those expectations. As people let you down, I'm going to be there through you every step. You're going to feel lonely, you're going to feel scared, and it's going to feel horrible, but I'm there for you.
Yeah.
And it's a song not just for my girlfriend now, but once I did it, it's people that have gone through a similar situation. There's people there that will be there for you. You're not alone when it might feel like your world is collapsing or your social sphere is collapsing. So,
Absolutely.
so that's what it's about lyrically. Uh, there's a sort of story in the music as well. It's slightly glam rock 70s sort of stuff. which I'm a big fan of. When I started doing this music, everyone expected me to do like really banging industrial, and I did that. But I'm just really interested in good songwriting, and I wanted to go back to the classics, and I think I've captured it in this.
Yeah, this is one of the ones. I was listening to your songs, and I was writing notes. And yeah, I like this one. I like that one. This one, I said, I said, I like this one. I was like,
Thank you.
because I was like, and I actually put it in my notes so that I could have it here. I was like, yeah, I like this one. This one's one of my favorites. So yeah, so we're gonna listen to that, and then you're gonna come back with us in just a little bit. Sounds awesome.
Fantastic. Thank you. Yeah. See
Okay.
you soon.
As I said before, we had to pre-record it because he's not here in America. So, but David did ask a question. David said, did your time in Zimbabwe influence your music at all? I can only imagine it did. But you guys ask questions just like David did, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these questions and I'm going to send them to him. And then he's going to get on the group on Facebook at the Celtic Rain radio show group. And he'll answer those questions for you guys. So make sure you put your questions up there because I want to include those as well on the show, but also I would like to, and your comments, because I'm going to send them to him in the Celtic Ring Radio show group on Facebook, and then you guys can have a discussion about it one-on-one, which is really, really awesome. But as he said before, we are going to be listening to As They Let You Down by SYD.31. And then we're going to hear Star of the County Down by Celtic Rain. So that's my group, right? And then we're going to hear The Chive Jive by Mike Ramos. I know. The Chive. That's just that's just so great, isn't it? I know. So The Chive Jive. I think that should always happen. The Chive Jive. But yeah, so I just think that's hilarious. But here we go. You guys ready for some great music?
This is a tune about the place in Ireland where St. Patrick first landed, but it takes place quite a long time after that. Near Banbridge town in the county down, one morning last July, down a Burying Green came a sweet Colleen, and she smiled as she passed me by. She looked so sweet from her two bare feet to the sheen of her nut brown hair. Such a coaxing elf that I shook myself, but to see I was really there. From Bantry Bay up to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town, no maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen that I met in the county down. She onward sped, there I shook my head, and I looked with a feeling rare. And I said, says I, to a passerby, who's the maid with the nut brown hair? He smiled at me, and with pride says he, that's the gem of Ireland's crown. She's young Rosie McCann, from the banks of the Bann, she's a star of the county town. From Bantry Bay up to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town, no maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen that I met in the county down. Crossroads Fair, I'll be surely there, and I'll dress in my Sunday clothes, with my shoes shown bright and my hat cocked right, for a smile from my nut brown rose. No pipe I'll smoke, no horse I'll yoke, till my plough turns a rust colour brown, till a smiling bride by my own fireside sits the star of the county down. From Bantry Bay up to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town, no maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen that I met in the county down. From Bantry Bay up to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town, no maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen that I met in the county down. No maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen that I met in the county down.
One, two, three, let's go!
Some fun stuff, right? I know, it's crazy awesome. The chive jive. That's just so cute. Again, if you're watching anywhere else, you should go to YouTube. Go to youtube.com/C for channel/Celtic Rain. Make sure you subscribe. That way you can know exactly when we're gonna be recording this. We record every Tuesday night from 9 until 11 p.m. Eastern time. I know, right? It is what it is. So I thank you so much for being here. We have some more songs. We're actually going to listen to Chances by Celtic Rain. That's one of the songs that I actually wrote. And it's just, it's a great song. And then I'm going to put this up here because I'm never going to say this right. The Gansha Maher Brett by Sacred Shaman. Very meditational. And then we're going to listen to Dragon Island by Victor Sierra. I know. Just great music. And I cannot wait for you to have so much fun listening to it with us. Here we go.
Jesus is in their track. High-ranking officers forced to surrender. Hookers and smokers put the blame on bad luck. Security clearance in place day and night. A complex world everyone has to deal with. Plagued with wily liars and gifted parasites. Thousand computers ticking on the clock can prevent antique shops from running out of stock. And fluorescent tubes shed greenish particles on the China's market where anything can be bought. In the shadow shines a ritual maze of forgotten ninjas and stranded astronauts. Rusty Navy ships are falling out of time. Way on Dragon Island, carriers and refugees are waiting on the docks. Way on Dragon Island. Seven Tomb Raiders, seek the seventh door. Sick after crawling on the pyramid's floor. Electrical failure, postpone the surrender. Officers get their drunk on alien booze. They try to sell the uniform to stranded astronauts. Collectors sing back and show terrifying tattoos. Rusty Navy ships are falling out of time. Way on Dragon Island, carriers and refugees are waiting on the docks. Way on Dragon Island.
So, dude, that's way hey. No. I love Victor Sierra. They're so awesome. I'm just saying. I know, right? So we are going to have Sid back on. And yeah, someone, there was a comment actually from Robert Rogers, who is Buck Rogers Jr. And by the way, I showed them your shirt that you sent me. Anyways, he said, I like that SYD.31's band is named after his father, like me with Buck Rogers Jr. I know, right? Isn't that just such a sweet story? I love it when things come out of the heart of the artists that I play, and out of their stories, because it always makes it so that you can understand like who they are as a person. And it's just one of those things that really always touches people's hearts, is to be able to connect with the artists as real people, as understanding what their music is about because of the history of who they are. So you heard one interview with him. Let's go on to the next one. Here we go. Hey guys, we are back. We are back with Match. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay, so that was an awesome song. And I can't wait for more. It's going to be great. We are pre-recorded for everybody out there that needs to know because hey, he doesn't live here in the States. So, getting him here, it's really early
Yeah.
where you are when we're actually putting this on air. So hey, we need to be able to get you. So knowing this, do you get to do music just all the time, or do you have something else that you do with your life?
I'll admit, when it comes to doing music full time, I'm an utter and complete coward. I've been offered the opportunities to give up the day job twice before in my musical career, and each time I've bottled it. I'm like, no. I work full time, and it pays me a good wage, and it gives me an opportunity to be creative. I'm not having to chase every penny and do something that would sell. I could do stuff that comes strictly from my heart. So I've stuck to it, and during the coronavirus and all this, I've made the right decision. A lot of my
Yeah.
friends have been financially ruined. People that I've looked up to and people that have moved on and made careers out of it, they've lost everything, and I'm so
Yeah.
glad I'm a coward in that way. Uh, it's not for me. I've got, as you can see, my toys in the background. I've got some really nice guitars, that the wage pays for me. I'm quite fortunate that my job is very forgiving because it's flexi time, so I can choose my hours more or less. So
Yeah,
when
that's
I'm
nice.
gigging and touring, it's great. I've got a lot of holidays, which means I'm paid, so I can go away gigging and touring while I'm being paid. And if you're self-employed, you can't do that.
No, you can't. So what do you do?
I'm just I call myself an office monkey. I do a lot of just paperwork, electronic digital stuff. It's for a regulator, and we often have a lot of medical cases, and some of these go back a long, long period of time. And in the UK,
Wow.
we have a data law, which means you can only keep data for so long. So what I do, I go through old cases and review which information we should keep and which ones we shouldn't, and what shouldn't gets deleted into the forever, and the bits that we do keep, we write summaries about cases. So it's kind of interesting. You read some really horror stories, and some of the cases are being dealt with by the brightest barristers and legal terms the UK has to offer, and I've got to sort of digest some of the complexity of the argument. So it can be a bit challenging. You see mostly the worst kinds of stories, horror stories, but that's my other life, my real non-rock and roll life.
Yes, this is my with cape. This is my without cape. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my superhero, and this is my non-superhero life. Exactly. No, I get it. We are the same. My husband has a day job, and it pays the bills and allows us to be able to do music. Yeah. I say it's one of the most expensive hobbies anybody could ever have. So
It is. It never ends because
it's
there's never like,
ridiculously
well, I've got
expensive.
everything I ever need now. It's like, once you do that, you'd be more creative. Then you go, well, what happens if I do this? What happens if I bought this? What happens if I did this? And it is a black hole, and
It
it's
is.
great. It's a great hole that it'll swallow you up. And
It is a
you'll never
great
have to
hole,
leave.
but it is a big old black hole. It is. My husband's like, I need another guitar. I'm like, no, no, you don't. You have no idea. We have so many freak. I can see yours. I understand.
Those
Yeah.
are my babies. The ones
Yeah.
I've got is like from being a kid, I've always really liked Chuck Berry and AC/DC and good old classic rock and roll. So recently during
Yeah.
lockdown, I got myself some nice Gretsch guitars, some hollow bodies. I've got myself a Fender P bass, which is the standard in the world, and it cost me a fortune that way. But they're my babies, and I love them so much.
Yes. You and my husband would get along perfectly. It's hilarious. Yes, I understand. Although some of mine are mine too, so I can't say much. I'm always picking on him, and he's like, "Wait a minute, this is not just my problem." And I'm like, "I know." But it is what it is. So tell me, you write all of your music then? That's what
Yeah.
happens? What's your process for that?
It's a good question. I've changed process compared to what most people do. Most people will jam with their mates and go, "Oh, that's a nice groove," and then I know I'll see if I can fit some words around it, or here's a book of poetry. Let's choose something from here and try and slot it onto the song that I've written, which is great. I've done that before and I really enjoyed it. But this time, I want to explore what I do, and I've gone back to roots of hip hop culture. Something that they used was called crate raiding, and what they do, they go into a a record store, they find loads of old funk and soul records that no one wanted, buy them all, and listen for any grooves in them. And there's a modern equivalent of doing that called digital crate raiding, which most people don't appreciate. You get production companies that do soundtracks for films, like big music production stuff, and they'll hire a lot of session musicians, and they'll do hours and hours worth of studio stuff. And you can buy all this, and what I do, I buy all this, and then I chop it up into bits, resample it, rearrange it, and I create a groove. And once I've got something that makes me like really want to move, I'm like, yeah, this is funky, then I'll get a whole lot of bass. So I've got my own bass guitar, but I also use a lot of bass samples, and I merge them into a groove. So it's like DJ spinning, sort of like,
Oh, nice.
record players coming up together a new groove. So once I've got my bass, once I've got the percussion all doing something fantastic, I'm like, okay, this is good. And then I take it further, add a little bits here, little bits there. And then if it's still of interest to me and makes me want to dance the next time I listen to it, then I'll add all my guitar parts to it and see how it goes. And then once that's all done, all the guitars, all the synths, everything's all written, and then I'll start listening to the track until I'm almost hallucinating, and I can hear the lyrics that the track wants to say, and I go from there and I fit it in. I normally always set a direction for my music though. I come up with the track names first, so it gives me a theme. So if I have a track, like I wrote a track before called Bulldoze Everything, it's really aggressive and stuff like that, so I'll have that as a track, and then I'll try and write a song that fits that, which seems to work. It gives me a direction rather than just aimlessly faffing around. So song titles come first. Oh, actually, that's a bit of a fib. The album name comes first. So I have a theme, and then song titles, which I write on an Excel spreadsheet. And then I start working grooves and rhythms. And then
That's
it all
really,
gets added it. And then
that
finally,
is a really interesting process.
yeah,
Really
the final stage is going into a proper studio and just belting out the lyrics. And sometimes I improvise, in the studio, the feeling of it, or you change the lyrics, because it's got to come from the heart. And sometimes when you think of a lyric, you're thinking of the rhythms, you're thinking about it. And when people hear it, you can tell it's thought rather than felt. So in the studio, sometimes just have a big chug of cough medicine and just belt out whatever it feels right.
Yeah, I stand in awe of you guys who belt like that, because I'm a classical trained opera singer who does jazz and Celtic music and stuff like that, and my own stuff. So I know what it does to your voice to scream like that.
The trick is,
but you can learn how to scream above, I've been told.
Yes, there's a couple of tricks I've learned, and it's the screaming. People presume it is from your throat, and a lot of people do scream from the throat, but it can be quite damaging. But your diaphragm is your secret weapon, and you learn to use the diaphragm. So you're not putting stress on your throat. You're just letting all that wind come through from your lungs, and it's really good. And you've got to keep your throat wet. I learned that trick from, I don't know if you guys know Punch and Judy in the States. You've got this Punch and Judy, the puppets that go like, and they have this really croaky voice, but it doesn't destroy them because they have a way of keeping their throat sort of constantly wet, and that's what I do. So
nice.
I do a lot of core exercises. I do a lot of cycling, and I make sure my diaphragm is always absolutely working. You can just belt it out.
Exactly. I was like that. I'm like, oh, as a classical singer, I'm sitting here going, please don't hurt yourself. It's hilarious.
You've got to look after yourself, because we've got two eyes, got 2 ears. So if you break one, there's a spare, but you've only got one vocal cord. You've got to look after it.
Well, technically, you have 2 vocal cords.
I didn't know. I'm learning something new.
So we're going to listen to a song called Collapsing New Stars. Tell me about that.
It's biographical. It's about my first band I was in. And I think I mentioned that I was looking at giving it the day job first
Yeah.
before, and it's about that time it was in the 90s, and it was just before Green Day and Offspring and all that sort became popular. And we liked a lot of retro punk stuff, and we looked like alt punks. And then all of a sudden, all this kind of music came really trendy and popular again, and we sort of exploded locally. And it was
Nice.
just a phenomenal time. But, you know, I think we just weren't old enough to appreciate it. Punk rock is very much for the young folk when it first came out, and it's just a bit of a homage, you know, to that period of time. You know, even though we were doing well, the seeds for our collapse was already there. You know, so many people only shine for such a bright, short moment, and that's how I felt
Very
like
true.
collapsing new stars. We were so punk at the time. You know, it was a great time. I'm still through and through into my punk rock, but it's just that innocence of being in a band at the time and not realizing that you're doomed to failure because you were so magnificent and so rock and roll. At the end of it, I ended up with quite a lot of drug dependencies, a huge amount of alcohol. All of us did. It was just messy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a messy time for a lot of us, frankly.
Yeah,
It's
really was.
understandable. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, well, we're gonna listen to this, and then we've got you back one more time. Sound
Cool.
great?
Yeah.
Okay. I know. He is adorable. Adorable. All right, so yeah, we're gonna listen to "Collapsing New Stars" by SYD.31. Then we're gonna listen to "Mirror" by Morant. And then there's "Voices from the Cracks" by Eric Parker. And some just great, great music. And I would tell you, if this is something you want to do, if you want to send your music in, please send your music in to celticrain777@gmail.com, and I will play it. It just has to be from a small label or independent artist and has to be family friendly. Literally, that's it. I play all the genres. But you guys, here we go.
I've left you there with bitter words and the devil to care.
And now I pay a heavy price, cold and tired. I miss you, my wife, but all things come to an end. I hope you find happiness again, my love. My love, my love, my love.
3 days ago, I had nothing but pride. With endless ambitions, all planned and all tied.
And now the walls come crashing down as night settles on this town. I close my eyes and I dream of all the things that might have been. My love, my love, my love, my love.
Sometimes it's fun to bend notes. Just saying. Well, this is the Celtic Rain Radio Show. We have one more interview with SYD.31, and it's been really interesting getting to know him. So he's one of these guys that has had a very interesting life and has a heart of gold. So you guys ready for the last interview with SYD.31? Hey guys, we're back with SYD.31. It's awesome. Awesome. So we have listened to two of your songs now and just had a blast with them. And we're going to listen to one more, but tell us, is there anything new happening? What's going on with you guys?
Oh, it's great to be back after lockdown. We're quite busy again, especially compared to my peers, because it's difficult to get running again. So we've got a gig in a couple of weeks. Time in Leeds, which is a great city. We're doing a fundraiser for a lot of minority groups who are being absolutely persecuted in the UK.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So it's a place called Wharf Chambers. Absolutely love the place. It's got a really militant history, so I love it. And then the month after that, we're playing. I think we're headlining a small gig, fairly local, with a good promoter, one of our favourite promotion companies. In April, we're looking at doing a UK tour with a few dates.
Nice.
We've got, hopefully, it doesn't all go wrong, because we're all starting to get back on our feet again. So we're constantly gigging
every
again.
finger.
Yeah. What I want to be wary of, though, is don't go and take every date, and after about 4 months, you're just exhausted. Oh, please, no more gigs. So I've got to keep it steady, help us get back on track. So doing all that, I'm also recording a new album. So far, it's called Prayer Songs. It's inspired about whether you're atheist, whether you believe in a God, lots of gods. Who do you call out for in your most desperate need? So it's going to be all true stories about times when I've faced challenges, and it's inspired by this African American guy that was executed many years ago, and as he was killed, he called out for a boxer called Joe Brown, who was also African American. He was like, Joe Brown saved me, and those were his last words. And it's like, because that was his hero. So like, who do we cry out for when we're most in need?
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's really awesome. So where can we find out do you have a website? Do you have where can we find your music and where you're going to be?
Yeah, the music is we've gone traditional. I suppose as time's getting on, we can call this traditional now. So we've got Facebook, which is www.facebook.com/ and that's SYD.31.
Nice. And I know we can find your music on Bandcamp too. How do we?
Yeah,
where's that?
Bandcamp is my favorite place because there's loads of stuff there. It looks really pretty. There's videos on there, and Bandcamp as an organization are far more supportive than the likes of iTunes or Facebook. So I love Bandcamp. And you can find us just type SYD.31 into Bandcamp or SYD.31.bandcamp.com.
Awesome.
There's loads and loads of stuff on there, and you can get to stream all our tunes too, as well as buy them. And our CDs are nice; they're worth buying.
They are nice. I have the music, so I will be the first to say, go get the music. It's really amazing. What you've heard so far is on there, so definitely go check that out. We are also going to listen to another song called "Imitating Art." Tell me about this one.
Another biographical track, Imitating Art. It's about a time with my girlfriend back in my punk roots. It was like towards the end of the 90s, and we went to a party. A few punks there. It was all great, and my mate was supposed to give us a lift back, but he got drunk, so we had to walk back. And it was supposed to be a 20-minute walk home, but we got caught in this ice-cold snowstorm type stuff, and it froze us, so it made every step really difficult. And by the time we got home, only then did we realise we'd nearly died. If we'd fallen over, we would not have got up. And looking at it, it's like two young punks dying in the snow. It's very Sid and Nancy. It's very bleak, and it's like just
it is very
makes
Sid
you
and
realize.
Nancy.
Yeah, it makes you realize, like, does life follow art, or does art follow life? When we see the characters that we look up to, characters that are relatable. Is it because they've done something that's so relatable? Is it no? That's just what life is. Humans just follow the same thing. So it's something a little bit different from me. I suppose it's a bit of a gloomy song, but it's like imitating art. If we had died, two beautiful corpses dead in the snow.
It is a beautiful song, actually. I really love it. But that is hilarious to hear the description of it.
Spoiler
That's
alert, we did get home and we did live.
And you're not dead. Not
Yeah.
dead yet. Not dead yet. So, anyways, my husband and I, before children and, after grad school, before children, all that stuff, we went to Great Britain, and we were in London, and it kind of reminds me of when we were in London because we walked all over. And we couldn't figure out where the heck we were to get back to our hostel. And so we ended up, it was the middle of the night, and all of the buses had shut down and the subway was not working anymore. And we're like, where are we? And so we walked all the way back to the hostel, and we were like, we figured it out. But the next day we just didn't get out of the bed. We're like, this isn't happening. We were so dead.
Yeah, it's walking. It's like we got lost. Should have been a 20-minute walk. We were too skint to get a taxi and stuff like that. And it was just the longest, most horrible walk I think I've ever had.
Jeez. At least ours was not cold. I have to put that one out.
Oh, what
that
time
was
of
kind
year
of
did
nice.
you go?
Oh, where were we? It wasn't
Lovely
crazy cold. It's still cold, but it's not crazy cold, So, I think it was April or May, so it was pretty beautiful.
My favorite time of year.
I know, right?
April, May. It's got so much atmosphere of optimism.
I know.
Everything's getting warm. Everything's great again, and I just love it. And I think England in spring and late spring is perhaps the most beautiful place on earth.
It cracked me up
Yeah.
because everybody was in shorts, and I'm like, you people are crazy because it's still cold. What's wrong with you people? But then I moved to Indiana, and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. Because it's the same stinking thing here. We actually get colder than you guys do, but still, it was like, yeah, no, I'm going to wear pants. They're like, I'm putting shorts on. And I'm like, oh my God, no, thank you. Have a nice life.
Yeah, no, I like to keep warm.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, no,
and no one needs
thank
to see
you.
my bare legs neither. No one needs to see me in shorts. Absolutely not.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I've had a great time, a great time, and we're gonna listen a little bit, and then but I wanted to say thank you so very much for coming, and it has been a blast getting to know you.
Thank you. It's been great. I've really enjoyed it. It's been wonderful.
Good. Well, when that new album comes out, you let us know. We'll have you back on.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
record again.
Thank you.
It'll be awesome. And who knows? Maybe one day we'll be over there and I can just do it live. That would be amazing.
Oh, that'll be great.
There you go.
That'll be so great.
I know. Well, thank you so much. And we're going to listen to your song now. So he's pretty sweet, right? I know. So I would encourage you to go find his stuff and support him, because that's how the musicians right now over in Great Britain are getting supported, is just by us, because they're not doing well with the COVID. So anyways, we are going to be listening to his song Imitating Art by SYD.31. And then we're going to listen to Keep the Light Distribution by Dave Morrissey. And then we're going to listen to Tomorrow is Yesterday by 5 Year Mission. So, and then we have the last song, which is First Contact by Shane Hose. It's great music, and I cannot wait for you to hear this amazing music. Here we go.
starts turning again, and the winter it will pass, then I will return to your arms. Someday we'll be together, but not this year, no, not this year. So I'll sit here by the fire and raise a glass to the ones close to my heart. The snow is gonna fall, but it won't last long. Someday we'll be together, but not this year, no, not this year. Someday we'll be together, but not this year, no, not this year. And there's a light in my window, there's a kind of love in my home, keeps me strong on to Christmas, when the new year will come. Someday we'll be together, but not this year, no, not this year. I keep the light in your window, keep the love in your heart, keep it strong on to Christmas, when the new
Captain John Christopher, U.S. Air Force, serial 4857932, Blue J4. Cam and saw a radar blip, possible UFO. I was dispatched by plane to get a visual. Soaring through the clouds, I was approaching from below. I glimpsed what appeared a spacecraft. Seconds later, I was aboard the UFO. Uh-oh. Little green men from Alpha Centauri, or Earthmen from the distant future, propelled through time accidentally 200 years back to the late 60s. They cannot risk changing what must be. The slingshot effect could reverse time theoretically, but that would mean today would be erased, and tomorrow is yesterday. vegan soup, female computers. I wanted to join the space program, but I will have a son and he will go to Saturn. They cannot risk changing what must be. The slingshot effect could reverse time theoretically. But that would mean today would be erased. It never happened, and tomorrow is yesterday. And tomorrow is yesterday. And tomorrow is yesterday. And tomorrow is yesterday. Captain John Christopher, U.S. Air Force, serial 4857932, Blue J4. Come and saw a radar blip, possible UFO. I was dispatched by plane to get a visual. Soaring through the clouds, I was approaching from below. I glimpsed what appeared a spacecraft, then it was gone. Guess I was wrong. The end.
Crazy awesome music. And I thank God every day for this show. This has been one of the blessings in my life. I started this February of this year, and it's been almost a year. It'll be a year in February. And your music that you send me has been just the light of my days. I get to listen to all of it and just bask in how amazing your music is. So I would say this. If you have music that you would like to send me, You have to be a small label or independent artist. And it has to be family friendly, but send it to celticrain777@gmail.com. And you can send me MP3s. If you are watching from somewhere else and you would like to subscribe, you can go to youtube.com/C for channel /Celtic Rain, and you can subscribe and know that we tape every Tuesday evening, every Tuesday night from 9 until 11 p.m. Eastern time. We thank you so much. This is the Celtic Rain radio show. I will say Merry Christmas. Happy Christmas for those over in that say it different. And we love you so much. I thank God every day for having you in my life, because without you, this show would just, well, it wouldn't be. So thank you so much for being here, and good night. Bye.